Hi everyone, I'm Sanjana and I have Manoj with me today to talk about SaaS SEO. Hi Manoj, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi Sanjana. Hello everyone. So thanks Sanjana for having me. So I'm excited.
Great. It's a pleasure to talk to you today, Manoj. So Manoj is currently the digital marketing manager at Merkle Science, and today he's gonna go all in and share with us SaaS SEO strategies that have worked well for him in the past. So Manoj, shall we get started?
Yes Sanjana.
Okay, so first of all, let's talk about your journey so far. Like, where did you start and where are you now? Like, can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I've been in SaaS inbound marketing for 5 years right now. So I did biology in school. I did mechanical engineering, but I'm the
Yeah.
person who didn't use my study anywhere in my profession. And but I did business analytics in Bitspalani. That helped me a lot, and I started my career in Zoho as a digital marketing analyst. So Zoho taught me a lot when it comes to SaaS SEO, SaaS PPC, and all inbound marketing. So after that, I was working with uh, some major startups like SalesGain and did consulting for some SaaS companies, SaaS
Okay.
startups, and and after that, right now I'm working as a digital marketing manager in Merkle Science. So Merkle Science, yeah, so it's a crypto risk intelligence platform. So like if any business who deals with crypto payment or crypto things, so our platform can help them comply with the regulations and things.
Okay. Okay, great. I think your life journey is similar to mine because I
Okay.
I did biology in school and I'm an engineer too. And I started my career as a business analyst too. Like for 6 months I was a business analyst and then I moved to marketing. So we are like very similar in that phase of life.
I think in India, the persons like us are more, I guess, actually.
Yeah, I know, right?
Definitely.
Great, great,
The engineering
great.
country.
Yeah, yeah. Nice. Okay. So, uh, okay, let's talk about SaaS SEO now. Like, what are the key differences you've seen, when it comes to SEO in the SaaS industry versus other industries? Because you said that you worked with a lot of, you worked as a consultant for a lot of SaaS companies and other, I think you should have worked for other industries as well. So, like, what are the key differences do you see between SaaS and other industries?
Yeah, so when it comes to SaaS, so it is not a SEO actually. So it's a content strategy. We should know. So it's an extension of product marketing. Like right? Let's say when it comes to SaaS, so yeah, a SaaS, a SaaS product deals with multiple industries actually. Let's say a product can be used in e-commerce. Yes, the same SaaS product can be used in healthcare. So in this case, so if you ask when compared with other industries like fintech, insurtech, and other
Hmm.
industries, so this SEO or content strategy is a revenue model for SaaS actually. So here it's a
Yeah.
revenue model. There that's a user generation. So, because right, when it comes to SaaS, there are a lot of competitions. So all having the same product, very little differentiation.
Hmm.
Each product having, but how you are making them uh, to educate your users is through content. So
Yeah.
when it comes to SEO, we should not compromise our content, our brand right, our brand archetype, and everything should follow, as well as we need to rank in such something. So that's a big challenge. So usually when it comes to SaaS, SEO is a revenue model, but for other industries, it might be a brand awareness or it might be a uh, user generation. But there are a lot of things we need to do when it comes to SaaS. So uh, let's say a SaaS product. can be pivoted into multiple vertical actually in the industry wise. And definitely after 2 years or 3 years, you will be increasing the feature to your features to acquire the new markets. So the SEO also should be evolved at that time. So
Yeah.
at start itself, at the SEO strategy itself, we need to think of those roadmaps. So the SEO should be work with the product management team, work with the product marketing team when it comes to SaaS, I'm saying. So it should be a
Okay.
scalable, and that's a very big difference when it comes to SaaS. We should not think it is a SEO, it is a keyword research, or it is a just
Yeah.
a, like a backlink building something. It's a content strategy. I think.
Yeah, I think that's the major misconception that a lot of people have in the industry, right? When it comes to SEO,
Yeah,
people think that it's just keyword research or just backlinks, as you
yeah.
rightly mentioned. But it is beyond that. Like you rightly said, it is a revenue generating channel. Could you expand on that? Like, what do you mean by revenue model, SaaS revenue model, like SEO revenue model?
Yeah, so definitely. So in this, let's say, if you are, uh, so let's speak about how we can start this actually. Let's say, as a product marketers, I mean, uh, the product marketers do these ICP analysis, do the personas and brand traits, brand architects, and everything. So I see this SEO as an extension of that actually. So when it comes to SaaS, let's say how I'm saying it's a revenue generation model. Let's say if, we having a product, so we are targeting the industry healthcare in the sense. So we should think like we need to cover all those uses only in healthcare. So we should not go broad. So in healthcare also we have a lot of verticals like physicians. We can target anyone deals with ortho or anyone deals with
Yeah,
psychology. So
yeah,
our
yeah.
content strategy should be deal with them. So let's say you don't know what they are searching. You don't know their intent.
Mm,
Let's say if they are searching about something, we cannot predict this is the intent of that search.
mm,
So they may interested or they may in market with other uh, our competitors, but they are
yeah.
searching different. So what we need to
Mm,
do in these cases, so we need to be there when our ICP is doing something, when our ICP is
okay.
doing anything in internet in this case. So in this case, so in SEO, so we are focusing on that organic landscape, organic search landscape. So we need to think of like how our ICP, how our target accounts will be searching. So what how we can project ourselves in those content. It should not be only for a search engine. So we are
Okay. Yeah.
projecting ourselves and we are convincing them to uh, uh, bring down to our next funnel. So we our content should be like that. So when it comes to SEO, I told already it's a content, and the
Yeah.
content should be
Mm.
like a funnel driven in this case. So that's why I'm calling it as a revenue model. So because it's a we are creating a uh, uh, pool of our target accounts or target audiences in this case, and we can do anything with those because right. So in Google Ads, in Facebook, in Instagram, we are believing the audiences that Facebook is giving. So okay,
Mm.
so in Facebook these are the audiences, and we are believing that this would be relevant to our product, this should be relevant to our product, and that's a guesswork. But in this case you are generating your own audiences, and you are having a people of 100K per month, means that's a you don't have to worry about anything. So you already created a revenue model, and you can monetize those users with that.
Great, great. Yeah, that is absolutely right. And you said that there is a vast difference between SaaS SEO and other industries, right? Right. So, do you think the traditional SEO approaches will work for SaaS industry?
Yeah, definitely it is not actually. So let's say uh, the traditional SEO, I mean like the long tail keywords and
Mm.
strategy and low keyword difficult strategy that evolved when SaaS is not there. So those
okay.
have been evolved 20 years back, 15 years back. But
Okay.
at that time, only these big companies like Salesforce, Microsoft, those companies were there, right? Even Zoho also. So Zoho is a
Mm.
25 years old company, and
Mm.
even those companies were there. So at that time, that's a traditional SEO. I mean, at that time they were just, I mean, if they know what their people are searching is, that's it. So they can get traffic from SEO. It was like that. But right now,
Okay.
if we see the SaaS is evolved, and I was seeing the Gartner report yesterday, it is like we are growing 17% year on year when it comes to
Oh,
software purchase in India. So it's a huge. I mean, the SaaS is evolved. So in this
mm.
case, the traditional thing doesn't work. So let's say, I mean, there is a real-time example you can take. So if you take SEM Race, if you take Ahrefs, Backlink Code, those kind of
Mm.
SEO thought leader blogs, so they talk about when they are explaining something, let's say when they are explaining like backlinks, when they're explaining like how to do inner link. So they talk
Mm.
about the dog product. They they talk about the travel company. They talk about these kind of B2C, because these techniques are works only for the old companies or traditional
Oh,
products or
okay.
organizations. That's a real example we have actually. So they talk about only one page, the SaaS SEO, but
Yeah,
in that,
actually wondered why they usually take these B2C examples always.
yes,
I think
yes.
now I have the answer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because at that time the SaaS was not there. I mean, not there means was not matured at that time.
Mm.
But now it's very mature. So there is something new to the strategy that dedicated to SaaS. Like that. So it is not like a keyword difficulty. It's not deal with any long tail keyword or something. So let's say this is the usual ask that I have been asked so much times uh, from my colleagues and friends. So they are saying like all these companies are talking about long tail keyword, but I
Yeah.
couldn't find any long tail keyword for my industry. How can I do? So
Okay.
that's not a true. That doesn't deal with the SaaS actually in this case. So if you take
Mm.
long tail keyword, only 10 or 100 you will get actually, but
Mm.
it is not like a keyword, it's a content. So you should
Mm.
not think of keyword or anything at start to start
Okay.
the SEO strategy, but we need to think it like a content strategy. So that's why the traditional SEO strategies are not working for SaaS.
Great. Great. And like, what strategy do you believe in right now? Like, what is the trend right now then?
Strategy when it comes to Sanjana and SaaS. I mean, if you ask when it comes to SEO, there is no defined thing. So, I mean, Google also not revealed any, and B2 also uh, uh, not defined. Like this is the framework, this is the
Mm.
strategy will work for every industry like that. So I've been in working for some 6 or 7 plus SaaS startups. So in
Okay.
all those, they are dealing with different industries, and the
Mm.
competency also different in this case. So for one industry, the such competition is like heavy, and we are dealing with a big player. And in one product, so we will be dealing with that's a new product or new segment. So the strategy will be changed at that time in this case. But so I suggest we should not start with any tool or any. We should not start with keyword research or anything. So as a product marketer, we should start as a product marketer. If you ask. So we should start with ICP. We should start with use cases, and what are the use cases we solve in solve. I mean, a product can deal with different industries and different personas. Let's say in a company called e-commerce, so their customer service team is there, customer support team is there, and customer experience team is there. And how my product is. Uh, solving those use cases in different department of this company. So that's the analysis we need to have. We need to learn about our product. Then automatically comes, okay, these are the themes we need to cover. These are the topics we need to cover. And let's say, let's search for, so what are people searching for in these themes, and how we can, so we need to add our product essence in all the topics actually. So we need to show, so this is how we are solving this problem. So it's,
Mm.
I mean, the topic or the themes you are thinking should drive revenue when it comes to start.
Yeah,
So it is not like what is this, something. If you are right, what is this? In that, the content should convert those users into the next funnel of marketing or sales. So it's like that.
got
So
it.
that when it comes
And
to strategy,
yeah,
yeah.
go on.
When it comes to your question, so I suggest start with uh, the product, start with the use cases, start with the thing, and find out the themes, so which are very relevant to you. I mean, themes in the sense of major themes, so which are relevant to you, and then find subcategories under those themes and find the topics under those subcategories, and build a strong relevancy under those themes. So you will be a thought leader under those themes. You should be a thought leader under those themes, and you should cover all the topics which are relevant to you and also under those themes. So that's the strategy we can start.
Great, great. This is brilliant. I've not heard of such explanation before. So, from what you're saying, I understand that you need to work closely with the product marketer to understand your customers, and you also have to work closely with the product team to understand the product. And based on these understandings, you have to develop your own strategy. Um,
Yeah.
and you also should be well aligned with these two teams and work together as one team, right? So how do you go about aligning with these teams in your company? What is what is your process there?
Actually, it's a challenging one. So if the industry is too technical, if the industry is dealing with some new technologies or
Yeah,
new evaluation, so
yeah, yeah,
it would be difficult to, because it would take
yeah,
1 month or 1.5 months to understand the prompt actually.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Mm.
for me, if you ask, so Zoho is a horizontal company, so they have all the products. I mean, all the products in the sense they have most of the products dealing with different industries. So at that time, I got exposure to explore all the industries actually. Okay, so so this industry, so these are the use cases and problems in this industry, these are the
Okay.
use cases and problem, and for this department, these are the use cases and problem, like that. So I got
Mm.
a very high exposure when it comes to working in Zoho. So after that, so I was working in industries like conversational AI and conversational intelligence, and those kind of new technologies also. And
Mm.
I worked with customer experience platform as well, and uh, worked with the marketplace. I mean, the software development
Yeah.
marketplace. So
Mm.
in each industry or in each organization, so the strategy is different, planning is different. So
Yeah.
for a SEO, it would take 5 or 10 days. For me, I mean, since I worked with these industries, I know a little about the use cases and everything. So I would grasp the thing better within 5 or 10 days. But if you take, so I suggest learn about the product, uh, learn about the use cases and everything. It should take 15 to 20 days or 1 month even. So based on the technology or based on the product you are dealing with, and then create a very good SEO strategy. So I suggest I sitting with my team, I sitting with all the product marketers, and stand in front of my whiteboard, and start writing. These are the themes we should cover, like that. So it's a process, takes some 15 to 25 days time for me. So to build a complete SEO strategy, because right,
Okay.
So when it comes to startups, SaaS startups, I'm saying, so every founders feel like SEO is a mystery, because everyone talk about, if when it comes to, SEO comes in, so they talk about the technical audit, technical SEO, and 404 error, canonical tag.
Yeah.
So what are those things? Those are not those are not needed when it comes to founders actually. So because right, so since you are a product marketer, so you doesn't struggle uh, explaining the content to founders, because because their product, and they know their customer, and they want to explain what they can, what we need to show in the content. So like that it should be the SEO. So it should be easily explainable to the founders, and they also involve in, why
Oh,
Manoj, we can write this, so this is the right thing you took, and this is the thing we should follow. So we should speak it like a content. We should speak it like a content strategy, not the technical SEO. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
my
Makes
strategy
sense.
is like sitting with teams, sitting with product marketing team, and collecting all the product marketing exercises that they have done before, like ICP analysis and all the use case analysis, and what's the roadmap. So where from roadmap you will come up with all the features you are planning ahead actually. So I mean the product
Great.
roadmap I'm saying. So you will get lot of ideas. Yeah. So
Great.
don't
Let's
stick
say,
with any tool for starting the strategy.
yeah.
Sit with their team and the product marketing documents. And that's helpful.
Okay. Okay. Now let's say a company reaches out to you for consultation or something. Like, what is the first step that you do, and what is the next thing that you do? Like, can you give us the your process? Where do you start? Where do you end? What do you do? What tools do you use? How do you go about coming up with these ideas and all? Like, can you give us that process?
Yeah. So when it comes to companies, so since it's a startup, some companies have very good product marketing document, or they are
Mm,
very uh, uh, you know already created all those things, like these are the target
yeah.
markets, these are the things.
Mm,
So for that it is easy. So like I have a lot of questions, and I would ask a lot of questions. It would be like a continuous 1 or 2 or 3 continuous interviews with them. Interviews
mm.
in the sense the
Yeah.
Q&A session with them.
Understanding. Yeah.
So yeah, I will get all those things from them, and they would share all the documents with me. That's enough actually from those companies. But some companies, they went with some development agency, and they created their own content, and from in-house, or from a content writer from
Yeah.
freelance, or from other agency, and created a website. So they have
Mm,
only the asset is website.
yeah.
Say they don't have they didn't do any product marketing exercise before or something. So
Mm,
we need to go some extra step. Okay, so we need to do some not all the product marketing exercises, but we need to analyze for who will be their ideal customer profiles and those kind of steps. So we need to do, and they would happily help in those, because
yeah. Yeah.
if you are trying to understand their product, and before doing marketing means, that's what they need actually. So it
Mm,
is not like so start marketing without understanding their language
yeah.
or
Yeah.
their vision. So the first thing first, I start with their vision and vision. So what they want to be, and how they want to project themselves. So that's the first thing we need to have. And then all
Okay.
those right, the what are the questions we need to ask to understand their customers. So those
Yeah.
questions and everything, maybe in a form, or maybe in a call. So I will gather
Yeah.
and start my strategies.
Okay. Great. This is brilliant, Manoj, so far. And next question is like, is it possible to predict the future outcome for SEO when you create a strategy?
Yeah, so it's possible. Like nowadays, if you ask, I mean, I forgot to mention one thing in the first question you asked to me, like what's the difference between SaaS SEO and others? So when it comes to SaaS, it's not only for PPC. In SEO also you can do that data driven. It's very data driven when it comes to SEO.
Okay.
So
Mm.
so comes to our question, that we can predict the future outcome. We can predict the future SEO. Like we can definitely say within this month I can rank 100 keywords, or I can rank for these themes in the first page of Google, like that. How? Because already we have the competitors, and uh, we have the sites who are ranking already, and
Yeah.
there, I mean, the SEMrush and Ahrefs are much sophisticated right now, and with those keyword and with those tools, we can definitely find like when they started and when they started ranking
Oh,
uh,
okay. Oh,
for the I mean for the keywords. So that's a benchmark for us, right? Because we know they started, let's say they started in September 2020. Their all content churning and all the SEO exercises they started in September 2020, and by Feb 2021, so they started seeing the ranking in first page. Let's say that's a benchmark for us. Okay, we can also rank within that 6 months gap. So we can also rank these much keywords in that 6 months gap. So that's much predictable actually, and that's prediction is 100% working right now, and we can achieve more than that also, because at that time the SEO also not evolved. I mean, when your competitors are more than 10 years or 8 years old, so at that time SEO also not evolved. But right now, we know the techniques, we know a lot of knowledge bases out there, and we can learn a lot. So with that technique, we can, let's say they are ranking, they got ranked in 6 months, and we can rank within 4 months. So with our techniques
okay.
and the tactical. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Great. Now, let we have on-page SEO and off-page SEO, right? Which one do
Yeah.
you think influences the ranking?
Yes, and so uh, um, so when it comes to on page, so as I said, on page deals with content, on page deals with all the on page techniques we have in SEO. Like mostly deal with content and how the search engine wants the content to be, and how the user also wants the content. So we should compromise both user as well as search engine in on page or content. So when it comes to off page, so we treat off page as a content outreach actually in this case. So it depends actually. So the question is like, so which influence the most ranking? So
Hmm.
I saw some companies, they didn't do any backlink campaign, but they are ranking with only the off page, sorry, on page,
On-page,
only with the
okay.
on page exercises. But there are some companies, um, uh, or not, the on page only is not working, so they need to extra step, and they need to get a lot of backlinks to their site as well. But if you ask why, it depends on the industries actually. Let's say if you are if your product is dealing with much competitive industry like ITSM, ITLM, so there are very big players are there. So they are like in the market for more than 10 years, 15 years. You can take freshers, you can take any big ITSM products. So they are in the market for more than 8 years or 10 years. So it is tough for us to rank only with on page. So in this case, we need to go extra mile. So we should not think it like a backlink generation.
Okay.
But let's say if you are creating a blog, or if you are creating a content, a topic, we should think of how we can outreach this. I mean, how we can promote this content to other sites, like that. So it's a content outreach actually. It's a content promotion, we can ask, we can say. So we should think like that. It is not like a old practice like directory submissions. It's not like a blog commenting. Even now also, the blog commenting and directory submission are taking practice, but that is not, definitely will not work for SaaS. So we should think it like a content promotion actually. So we should we should reach to the relevant companies or relevant blogs. So who are influencing in their industry. So it is not only getting the backlink. So we should get some benefits from that outreach. We should get benefits from that backlink. So uh, this is like that. So it depends on industry when it comes to the question. It depends on industry. So for some industry, we can rank only with the on page, but in some industry, we should go extra mile and get some backlinks to our site.
Makes
Then only we
sense.
can rank. Actually.
Makes sense. Right. And you also spoke about, aligning with the content writers, right? So how do you actually bridge the gap between SEO research and content writer, and how do you work with them? Do you also should know how to write in order to work with a writer? Like, what do you think of this?
Yeah, so actually that's a very big challenge when it comes to SEO, because let's say it taken care by two different person. So
Yeah.
so as I said, I deal with let's say when it comes to SEO strategy. So I deal with product marketing. I deal with the persons who are in product management, and I do all this research, and I ask the questions from founders, and they also explained everything to me. But you did all research, you did all the topics and things, but the writing is happening in another person, actually another
Yeah.
person writing it. So
Yeah.
how we can explain that thing? So I used to have one piece. So it's a very elaborate document, like how we need to write this content and what's the
Oh, okay.
expected uh, topic outcome, I mean the content
Huh.
outcome in this. And uh, before starting this exercise, so we should give all the brand archetype and brand type to the writer. So then only she or he would understand, like, okay, so our brand is positioned in the hero archetype, or uh, in the any outlaw archetype or creator archetype, and our content should be stick with that archetype. And then when it comes to SaaS, so these product marketing says are high. Like, so we have our specific brand, right? Like our content should be like this. Our content should be like a companion to the user. So we will not speak like we are a dominant, or we are like that. So those kind of things. If you have any document like that, we should provide that to writer before start writing, and we should educate them.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
same what are the information I got from the founders, or I got from the product marketing, I definitely try to explain all those things to the writers before start. So then only we can expect the outcome in content writing, right?
Yeah, that's
So
right.
the same, I will go for some 4 or 5 continuous calls, or the demo calls. So I will explain everything, and I educate the product as well. And usually, when it comes to the SaaS writers, they also keen to learn about the product, because then only
Hmm.
they will write elaborately, and they can bring the product essence to the content. So they will
Yeah.
also learn, and they will also keen to learn. So after that, so I create a document for each topic. Let's say in December, so we are writing 12 contents or 12 topics. So I will create a skeleton, or I will create a brief, so that elaborately explain what we need in this content, and who are the audiences we are targeting in it. Let's say in a
Hmm.
company, we are targeting this job profile. So let's say a sales director we are targeting, or in
Yeah.
this case, the 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 potential reader, or the user who will read this content is these profiles actually. So our product also should explain like a manager, not like an executive in this case. Like that, the
Got it.
explanation will be there in the brief. And then, as you said, so we should not compromise the SEO also in this case. So because we need a scalable and consistent traffic also. So I will explain
Hmm.
these are the targeted keywords. So, and these are the, I mean, let's say we have some leads, like some pages are, I mean, for that keyword, for that targeted keyword. So there are some 10 pages ranking in the Google first page. So that's our major lead
Yeah.
in this. So
Yeah.
we can we can try explore how they are ranking, why they are ranking. That's the two questions we should ask. So,
Okay.
and there is a pattern follow in all these 10 pages. We can easily
Yeah.
get that actually. So when it comes to SEO, if anyone in this industry SEO for more than 2.5 years, they can definitely take, okay, these are the pattern they follow. So we should also have these questions, have these sections in our content. So like that, we will be giving everything. And in this section, we have the opportunity to include this keyword. But I will suggest that if you feel you are a content writer, I mean, whenever I'm giving this content skeleton to the content writer, I will say, so you are a content writer and you know content very much than me, and you know content writing or storytelling very much than me. So you can skip anything in this. But these are
Okay.
my targeted keyword. So you have the rights to write your own. But so we should try to stick with this thing. Then only we can rank and we can project ourselves as what founders are or what product marketing we take before. So, I mean,
Great.
that's a skeleton or brief, explain everything about the topic, and that will be bridging the gap between the SEO and
Yeah.
right.
Absolutely. Great. And let's talk about AI because that's the hot word right now in the industry. So, like, what do you think about AI? Like, will AI play a role in SEO in the future?
Uh, yes, and actually, right now there are a lot of AIs like Writes on it and lot of AI for content briefing. Actually, you asked,
Yeah.
right? So the content briefing and the content skeleton. So there are a lot of AIs there actually. So they create brief. They helps a person to create the brief, but we cannot directly give that to the writer actually. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we cannot directly give that to the, so there is a human touch needed in this actually. So even though the AI comes, but there should be a person to scrutinize all these things. And we can segregate the industry into two actually.
Okay.
So SaaS into two. So there are some companies like you can take uh, big companies are heavy growth companies like they raised 100 plus or 200 plus million in Series B or
Hmm.
Series A. They will not wait for SEO to rank or for SEO to get the
Yeah.
consistent thing. So in those industries, they think of churning out like 100 plus content per month actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
their content team and they deal with any SEO and they think like we need to churn like more than 100 plus content per month. So
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
that time, for those industries, this AI will
Got
help
it.
definitely because since they are churning out 100 plus content, so definitely uh, it will like the Google will understand, okay, they are writing all these things under this thing. And if you think of 100 plus, you will cover everything under that
Yeah. Yeah.
thing, right? So these kind of AIs and new technologies will help them definitely.
Okay.
But for the startups who think of like who concentrate more about the content or who concern more about the content, so definitely a human touch should be needed because a human is there and who talk to founders and who got all this information for 1 month. The AI cannot replace that actually,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the AI can be uh, augmenting that person
Hmm.
intelligence, but that AI cannot come into play and they
Replace.
cannot
Yeah.
replace that. But we should use that. We should use those AI to ease our work.
Got
Uh,
it. Got it. All right. So, one last question before we finish the conversation. What content resources do you recommend for our audience to learn more about, SaaS SEO?
yeah. So uh, I suggest uh, there is one site, foundationinc.co. So they write very much about the B2B SaaS marketing. So because when it comes
Okay.
to SEO, I mean SEO, the technical things are same actually, but the approach is different when it comes to SaaS. So that approach we could get from these B2B marketing blogs.
Okay.
So we should not, I mean, I suggest like if you want to learn SaaS SEO, so uh, there is no need to check the SEO blogs like Semrush, Backlink or something. So we need to learn about the B2B marketing first in this case.
Yeah.
So we need to read about these kind of B2B marketing blogs, Foundation in .co, and uh, like our own Chennai community SaaS Bhumi. So they also
Hmm.
writing about good blogs actually. So because the I mean we
Okay.
can feel the founder touch on all those blogs actually. So how they are
Okay.
thinking and everything. So that also very good a blog to follow for B2B SaaS marketing. So we need to incorporate. We need to think how we can incorporate the SEO into those. That's it. So uh, that's the thing. So I suggest
Yeah.
Foundation in .co and SaaS Bhumi, and there are a lot, but I couldn't remember that. So if I open my
Okay.
bookmark, I can tell all this. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, sure. If you find them, just share it with me. I'll add it to the description.
yeah, sure, definitely.
Okay. All right, Manoj, thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I think I got what I wanted from this session. So I'll give you a LinkedIn profile in the description so people can connect with you later to learn more about SaaS SEO. It was nice talking to you, Manoj.
Thank you. Yeah, it was pleasure, and I was following your channel, and you are doing a great job there, and you bringing the reality to the world actually, like how the B2B marketing is working and how the people are writing in the blog, and so you are bringing in the reality into the thing. So that's a very good work.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So talk to you again, Manoj. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye bye. Thank you.